Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Another week has gone around, another weekly vlog. Honestly, I say this a lot, but my job working with school kids at schools, it's the summer holidays. We're going to go back in September and it's going to be Christmas just like that. It is shocking as you get older how fast it whizzes by. Now, I'm going to tell you really quickly the book I've been listening to on Audible just lately. That's The Rise and the Reign of the Mammals, written by the same guy that wrote The Rise and the Fall of the Dinosaurs. I found Dinosaurs one easier to handle, the mammal one incredibly fascinating, a little bit more technical. Going off in daydreams, you kind of miss a lot of it, so you got to listen, but those books are well worth listening to. But on that note, on the note of books, those of you that follow me on social media, on Facebook, and if you've been watching the vlogs for a while, you'll know that I've been writing books. Now, I've wrote a couple of books. You know that I write magazine articles for FALCONRY magazines and things, but I've wrote a couple of books a long time ago. One of them was a 5-year pictures and words diary of flying Zeus and training him, my golden eagle. That's for another day because that's got a lot of photos in. I can't even imagine how expensive it would be to publish it. But Dave Sharp, Nature Boy, the book that this channel was actually named after, that is getting there. It's getting there. It's being put together now at the publishers. So give it time and that book's going to be out. So I'm going to update you on that. But for those that don't know, Dave Sharp, Nature Boy, the book, it's my inception into this world of nature from a tiny little, maybe 2-year-old, all the way through to sort of my very start of my teenage years, sort of my childhood in nature. It's a book that you could read to your grandkids. It's a book that you can read if you're old like me and think, oh gosh, I remember that. It's a book for the naturalist. It's a book for the bird watcher. It's a book for the fisherman. So hopefully that's a book that we'll have out soonish, and some of you will sort of support me in and buy a copy. Don't ask me how much it'll be. I don't even know how much it's going to cost me to get those books actually printed. But watch this space, because it's something that I'm really proud of and I really want to see in print. And to be honest, I just want a copy for myself and for my immediate family. But I'd like to think it will be entertaining for you guys to read too. So I'll keep you posted on that. On the theme of writing, John, the raptor rehabber from Tasmania, he sent me another picture of another wedge-tailed eagle he's got in. It was caught up in the draft of a big truck, a big logging lorry. He says, it bruised and battered, nothing broken, concussion. So he's going to keep that in, repair its tail, fatten it up, and that'll go back to the wild. That's his job. But there in Australia, working with Australian raptors, he gets to handle, fly, train, rehab, work with, see so many amazing birds of prey that us in the UK and the rest of the world could only dream of meeting. Enjoy the rest of the video. Last 2 open years when we opened, look at that tortoise, it's escaped. The last 2 years, our first 2 years of our weekend openings here at Icarus and Holdenby, I reckon we had 2 wet days each year. Look at it this year, our 3rd year where we really wanted to ramp things up and get everyone here coming to see what we're doing here at Northamptonshire. My goodness me, we are getting balked by wet weekend weather. And the forecast through August at the minute, the early August looks terrible. If you look at those plants there, the streamer weed, it's all the same as the arrowhead weed above. So submerged, it grows in long streamers. But if it gets to the surface or near the side, has an immersed type of leaf, those lovely arrowheads, and the flowers too. Look at all the different species of aquatic plants. in this river. I love it. And then for those that don't know, this is meadow sweet. If you pull up the root and smell it, it smells just like germaline. It's a wild antiseptic, and if you do pull up the root, crush it into a pulp, apply that to a cut, graze or wound, it really does help keep that germ free and soothe it. It's also a beautiful plant, isn't it, meadow sweet? Very much a marshland, sort of damp area plant. You'll also notice the water's gin clear and there's very little blanket weed algae. 2 reasons, I think. The really abundant plant life is using up those nutrients in the water, starving the algae out. Any pond keeper knows how that works. But also, it's usually a sign that it's relatively unpolluted stretch of river. Not too much agricultural runoff feeding the algae, or despite there being a sewage works just upstream here, not too much of that stuff getting into the river system.
Wow, this is lovely. Look, lily pad.
This is quite a nice species we have here at Icarus Falconry. Lesser yellow-headed vulture. Not a vulture you'll see at many falconry centres or birds of prey centres or zoos. Not because it's rare in the wild or anything like that, but it's very rarely bred here in the UK. So not many available. I think there's possibly another one flying. Nice try. There's another one flying in these places, but I think this is the only one you can come and fly yourself as part of an experience day. Quite a territorial little guy, hand-reared imprint, but look at the iridescence on those feathers. A stunning bird to look at and comical as anything to work with. And with people he doesn't know, i.e. not me, he's as calm and gentle as anything. With the staff and us here, a bitey little swine. But his comedy makes up for his naughty behaviour. The lesser yellow-headed vulture! I saw you come in. Let's just have a look along our butterfly walk. Look at this, a lovely second brood comma. Beautiful. Much sort of different colour than the first brood of the year. Look at that. A bit further along, the gatekeeper. Simple, small, but gorgeous. And then, this is the first painted lady that we've actually seen there this year. Again, come over from the continent, and I'll have another brood here at least. Roy's Bug Hotel. It's just a classic, isn't it? 2 foot across, and it's really well used. It's beautiful. Really fitting to get people thinking about their gardens. Now, if you're a falconer or a member of the public that's not a falconer, but you know, you really are interested in these birds, check out the video that we put out this Friday, just to see what we're trying to achieve here at Holdenby, possibly for next year. We're trying to see if we can organise a kind of an affordable, that's not even the right word, a meeting of falconers, a falconry do that's not overpriced and all about financial gain. And as I've said in the video, my trips to Spain to see the Spanish sky trails, the one thing those guys can do well is organise a gathering of falconers in the middle of nowhere for hardly anything. No one's trying to spin big bucks off of it, like is the norm now in the UK at all the different, well, not all, but many of the fairs and game fairs and things like that. It's too much money to go in. It's too much money for stall holders. Public don't turn up. The public that do turn up are really disappointed, because if you're a falconer, there's nothing there about falconry. It's kind of a lot of money to get into some of these things. So we're just trying to find a low-key gathering and to see what you guys want. So if you haven't seen the video, please go and watch that one. But for now, from me and Zeus, enjoy the rest of this video. My penultimate clutch of 2023. Those little beauties. Pueblan milk snakes. Just the false water cobras left to go. Look at those.
Look, Lily. We've been eating Grandma's cabbages. You can't eat him, but it might help with the pest control. He's squishy, isn't he? Oh, he's done a wee-wee on you. You didn't like the wee-wee? Here. Okay. Let's have another look. That's it, nice and gentle. There you go. Do it, pat a cake, good man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can.
So I'm just waiting for Zura to get off one of the chimneys over there in the distance, because every time I've been at the Falconry Centre in the week and last week, pretty much every time I've done any work and stuff, a bit windy, it's just turned into rain before I get to fly my birds. Most of the time that means I haven't flown her. It's just hammering it down with rain. Thought I'll fly a bit earlier today. Got the kit ready, hammered it down with rain. But she's really unfit now. She's done about 3 passes. And she's a bit of a muppet, because when you call her in, you judge that she's getting tired already. Call her in, and she's committed to flying to a chimney. She'll fly 5 times further away to land on the chimney and sit down. Never good when lure falcons sit down. But that's her habit. She's bobbing her head. I'll see if I can show you where she is. So she's in the centre of the screen. Top of that chimney there, literally having a rest. Not a good way if you want to fly lure birds. You need that action, dynamics, and you don't want them sitting down, because once they get in this habit, it's a difficult habit to break if you're going to keep flying them in the same setting where there's plenty of places to sit. Good open spaces definitely work better for flying these lure birds. Anyway, she's done a poo, she's getting ready to fly. I'm going to get the lure out and call her in. Hope you've enjoyed the vlog. Like and subscribe as always. Check out the playlist, guys. Watch some of the other videos. It will help me. I'm sure there's some stuff you haven't seen. But I'll see you in the next one.